This is an at-home based band workout routine. The routine for day 2. We're going to begin with with our warm-up circuit. We got 4 movements in the warm-up circuit. We're going to begin with a deadlift. And you can probably just do non-weighted deadlift motion to warm up. Even better, if you happen to have a broomstick or anything like this, you can go through and practice your barbell technique. And having the bar, it really keeps you honest with your body mechanics. So starting at the top, flex your abs, extend your legs. With the deadlift motions, you want to think with your arms to press your arms down. Press your arms down so you're flexing your pecs and your lats. Now as I go down, I'm going to begin by pushing the hips back. My feet, by the way, are in a narrower stance. My heels will be down generally underneath my hips. So I push the hips back, my torso angle comes forward, my shoulders are in front of my feet in this position, and I keep the bar against my legs. I slide down, and through this part, I got to keep my knees back. I don't want my knees to shoot forward. I got to keep them back out of the way. And then once I get past the knees, then they can come forward. But I keep my heels down. At this bottom position, check your abs. And then from the middle of the shin to your knee, your torso angle will remain the same. It will change then when you get past your hips. So for the warm-up, I just want you to hold 15 seconds here. Come up to the top of the knee, hold 15 seconds there, and then squeeze it out at the top for 15 seconds. And though for the strength part you're going to be using a band, you use the same body mechanic there. The second thing I'm going to do is a dip hold. So I have my 2, this could be chairs or anything you've got that are the same height. And you've got 2 of them. And I'm going to do my dip holds. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to press out at the top. I'm going to lift my legs up off the ground. And I'm pressing my shoulders out. If I can lift my legs, I can do that as well. But you're just going to hold the top position, and then you'll go down and hold the bottom position for 10 to 15 seconds and just do 1 rep of that, down and up. With the dips, you don't want your shoulders to round forward or your elbows to flare out. Keep them retracted. Dips are super hard exercise. So you can also scale this down by keeping your heels on the ground and doing the dips here. Just make sure it's really hard to also keep your shoulders retracted when you have your feet forward. So you do whatever modification you do, this is the most important part. Keep your shoulders retracted. You don't want to train yourself out here. You got to pull back. I can also just go on the ground. Another modification for this that's really good is just to do a hip bridge with your hands down. So I got my hands down and I'll bridge up. That's really good for your shoulder mobility too, as long as you're training it properly. Retract your shoulders. The third one is going to be a single leg toe touch. Really challenging exercise for your balance. I'm going to plant 1 foot down. I'm going to begin by kicking the other foot up. Flex your butt. Keep your hands on your down leg. Continue to flex your butt of your up leg. That will be your guide. And then go down as far as you can. If you can reach all the way down to your toes, that's fine. But only go down as far as your balance, as far as you can under control. So notice that I'm keeping my spine straight too. So I'm not going to roll down or reach by rounding my back. I'm keeping my spine in a neutral position for those. Okay, so do both. You're going to do repetitions, about 8 repetitions each side for that. And then the last one is your hand walkouts. So I'm going to start in a push-up position, and then I'm going to walk my hands out. And I'll go as far as I can, and then I walk them back in. So just go as far as you can while keeping your spine neutral. What tends to happen on this one is as you walk your hands out, your back will collapse like this. That you've gone too far if that happens. Don't quite go to that part. Don't go that far. So you go through that twice. Now we're ready for the strength part of the workout. And we're going to do some banded deadlifts. So I'm going to use, for these, I can use my heavier bands. There's a few different ways you can do this. And unfortunately, if you're a really tall person, if you're over 6'2", I don't know if I would recommend doing it the first two ways I'll show you. Get out of here, Freddy. He claws this mat and it pisses me off because it's ruining my mat. Close him out. So I'm going to step on it. I think this is the best way. Step on it, put it over your back, and now you're in position to do your deadlifts. Now set yourself tight, and I'll show you from the side. Set yourself tight, your hips are back, and then you go through that deadlift motion. This is a pretty good exercise here. I'm going to just do 5 reps to show you. And then also to simulate that pulling back your shoulder, if you pull back on this band a little bit, that's a good thing to do too. So that's one way to do it. And if you're a taller person, or to take just some resistance off of the exercise, you can also do it this way. You're stepping on it, and then choke down on the band a little bit, so you get your hands back here, and then you're going to lift up from here. This is still pretty effective, and you can still feel the resistance on this one pretty good. So you do your strength work there, and then you're on to a couple other exercises. On the strength circuit, you're going to do 3 times through the following exercises, and you're going to begin with your dip holds. So I'll get these back out. I'll press myself up into position. You can either do the dip holds, or you can actually do dip repetitions, but you'll do 15 seconds of work there. You do 15 seconds of work. The modifications I already explained. Use any of those methods to do your dip exercise. Second, you'll do hip bridges. And these ones do a circuit, make a circuit out of it. Go from one to the other. Hip bridge, I got my shoulders down, I got my hips down, and my heels down. Then I'll shoot my hips up by squeezing my butt, and then coming back down. And I'll do repetitions here. This will be 30 seconds of repetitions. To advance this exercise, I can lift one leg off the ground, and I can get my reps that way. It's quite a bit harder that way, but really just try to focus on squeezing your butt, extending your hips, and try not to arch too much with your back. Keep your spine neutral, keep your abs tight. And then the last one of the strength circuit is some band pull-aparts. So I'll take one of my lighter bands, underhand, elbows extended, and then I'm going to pull it across my chest. I want it to go below my chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and I'm pulling it apart. Keep your abs tight. You'll tend to arch here. Keep your spine neutral. Flex your butt, flex your legs. So that's your strength circuit. And now we'll go on to the cardio circuit. So in the program, this is going to be running, and the amount of work to rest ratio and the amount of rounds will change every week. So just go for you probably have to have a stopwatch. If you're just going to go run outside, having a timer, you're going to need to have a timer. I'll just say about running mechanics, this is not going to be like an endurance period. It's not a long distance run. These are more like sprints. So sprinting mechanics may be a little bit different. Your arm action, you're going to keep your shoulders down, keep about a 90-degree bend in your elbow, and your arms are going to be you're rotating at the shoulder, and you're driving your elbows back, 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 back. That's going to really allow you to drive with your legs into the ground. And with your legs, it's the ball of your foot that's going to be contacting the ground. You'll have a slight forward lean of your torso, and you're going to be driving, and extending through on every stride. Flex your butt and extend through on every stride. And then once you're done with your run, we'll begin a cool down. For day 2, we got stretches, 15-second stretches. So we're going to first get the glutes. I like this pretzel stretch. Cross one leg over the other, grab in between your legs, and then pull the legs to your chest. 15 seconds each side. Good. Now you move on to a pec stretch. So go onto a wall, extend your palm facing forward, arm extended straight out, and then rotate away to open up your chest. And do 15 seconds each side. Lat stretch. I think just this sort of child's pose that they do in yoga. Just have your palms open, externally stretching yourself into an externally rotated position for your shoulders is going to help you have better mobility for a lot of these resistance training exercises. And for this one now, extend your arms out straight, sit your hips back, and that feels so good. Fourthly, you got a hip flexor stretch, so you can take a knee down. So you're in a lunge position, take a knee down, and push your hips forward, flex your butt here. You can raise your arms up, or you can rotate toward your front leg side to open that up even more. And then lastly, a hamstring stretch. So I'll just extend my legs out in front of me from a seated position, sit my torso up tall, and just go as far as I can while keeping the torso upright. Alternatively, you may want to do a V-sit, so open up your legs to the side, but again, sitting up tall as you stretch that out. And that'll conclude day 2.